Hey everyone, it's Marina, the Trader Chick of Il Toro. And today I am bringing you the book review on The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. So I can't hold the book in my hand because living in Guatemala, we don't have access to books as easily. So all my books are done either through Kindle or on my iPhone. Now, this book in particular, I was recommended when I went to a day trading seminar. It was more of a one-on-one experience with other students that were also doing one-on-one experiences. And then we had a seminar at the end. It was I think a 10-day program. And one of the students who I became pretty good friends with goes to me, do not even begin to day trade until you have read this book. So that alone truly intrigued me. How could a book have such an impact on your trading abilities, right? So of course I dug right into this book. The book is mainly, there's so much to this book, right? And I find that if I find one specific thing, one thing in particular that influences me the most in that book, that I've gotten a lot out of the book because I'm able to implement that book, that particular principle or what the author is trying to get through, right? So there's always tons of information in each book. This particular one is the actual power of now. It's being right here, right now. So whatever happened in the present, in the past, it's happened. It's past. It's done. So why am I bringing what happened in the past to this second, right this very second? It's not possible. Whatever happened then, I cannot change it. I cannot regret about it because what's the point, right? I need to be able to let it go and understand it happened. It's done. We move on. And being here in this present moment is super important. He also speaks a lot about the future, right? He calls it psychological time, which is when you're starting to think about the future and you start to get anxious and worried. That is, again, totally useless because 99% of the stuff that you worry about and think about, it never comes to pass, right? It never happens. So being there is escaping the moment. And also, if you want your future to be however you want it to be, abundant, you want to be wealthy, you need to start this second because you keep on thinking, oh, it's going to happen in the future. It will never happen in the future because today, right this moment, you're making your present moment being what's going to happen. And basically, you're just copping out of taking action this very, very second. There's a powerful exercise in the book where he says, all right, stop and just let your mind go crazy, right? Start thinking. Like, your mind is constantly going to be coming up with thoughts. It's just how we are. It's a living, breathing entity. So when it stops completely, you're dead. But all those thoughts that are whizzing by, they're just thoughts. They're not real, right? So that exercise alone, when you stop and focus on what your mind actually starting to come up with different thoughts, it doesn't, because now you're conscious of what is happening in your mind. The most important thing to capture is those thoughts and coming back to the present moment. The book is so much more to it, but the power of now, knowing that you are all right this very moment. And when you start to drift away, you start to worry, you start to regress, you start to go back, coming back to this moment right now, knowing that you are all right now, it makes you more mindful. It brings you back to that moment. And what it does for my trading, the reason why it was so important is because day trading it's essential for you to be in that moment. The second you start to think about the bad trade that you took yesterday, or even half an hour ago, or what if I take the next trade and I lose, that gets you out of the moment. It gets you out of the presence of now, right? The power of now is being here, focusing on what is happening right this second. And whatever you do in day trading can be taken out and brought to life. So if I'm talking with my children and I am remembering the fight we had yesterday, or I'm concerned that they might fall and hurt themselves in school tomorrow, I'm not there in that moment speaking to them, enjoying them, and knowing that in that present moment, we are okay. And that's what the power of now does for me. And it's amazing because just being here in that moment is the step that is going to take you to your next moment and the next moment. And that's how your future truly unfolds. Not worrying about what's going to happen in the future, or worrying that you don't have enough money, or being like, oh, what if this happens, in a bad way, but also living in a fantasy. Oh, I'm going to be rich one day. Well, it doesn't ever happen one day, because if you don't start right this very second, in the moment, in the now, it will never happen. So I'm Marina Villatoro, the Trader Chick, and I have a lot more book reviews and how they have influenced my life and how they will influence your life. And remember, if you get just one thing out of each book you read, you have truly done justice to that book and the author. And you could always return and find that other thing and implement it. So start with one. Start with one thing and implement it right now. And if you enjoyed this book review, subscribe now. I've got a lot more book reviews for you to check out and a lot more fun things on my channel. I'm Marina, the Trader Chick Villatoro. See you soon.